Hello everyone. Hope everyone is good. It's Thursday evening. It's Jazz messing about with his microphone as usual. We're going to go through the Europa Conference League last 16 knockout round tonight, starting off with our beloved West Ham. Aek Larnaca 0. The mighty, huge West Ham United 2. So, quite a comfortable night, comfortable win. Professional performance, as Moisey will say. Clean sheet, Moisey, clean sheet. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, it was like playing a pub team, wasn't it? Really. I mean, I could tell they weren't going to score. You could put them clean through a couple of times, and we slipped a couple of times. I saw the Zuma slip in the second half, and you could tell they weren't going to score, mate. We're massive, mate. And again, I know you guys are gonna give me pelters, mate. Anyone who went to Cyprus catching 2 trains, 3 flights, and gonna do the same going back, salute you. I wouldn't do if you paid me, mate. Watch this team. I wouldn't do if the ticket was free, mate. I wouldn't piss on this team. Trust me. Fucking load of shit. But listen, it's a good win. But, mate, the first half an hour, whatever, I was falling asleep, mate. Oh, my God. It was dreadful, wasn't it? We'll go into the Antonio goals in a minute. Let the chat build up, then I think Frankie's going to join in. But, mate, anyone again who went to Cyprus to watch that, you must be mad, mate. Got to find something else in your life, mate. Go and find things to do in your life, you guys. Seriously, mate. Oh, mate, Richie's on the case. Richie! I ain't getting excited, mate. Oh, mate, they're all far worse than I thought, Richie. I mean, I'm sure one of you in the chat would have scored Antonio's goals. I mean, oh, my God. Oh, mate. I kind of thought, I didn't think it would be that bad. I mean, leaving players unmarked, and they weren't going to score if you played for 2 days, mate. It is what this tournament is, isn't it, everyone? Listen, it is a dividing line between fans, where some are saying, we want to win it. I get that. I largely get that. But when you look at the state of the tournament and the teams in there, and we're kind of 100% record in there, and what a shit team we are. Listen, when I was growing up, there was no need for the people to change the format of the European competitions, right? The European Cup used to be for the team that won the league number 1 position. That's it. The UEFA Cup used to be for teams that finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So it's a very, very strong competition, UEFA Cup. European Cup Winners' Cup used to be the winners of the FA Cup. So all the cup winners in Europe, it worked like a treat. It was really, really good. And then, I don't know, because it's got greed. The Champions League ain't really Champions League, is it? It's like the top 4, isn't it? So it is what it is. But Ultra, what are you saying, mate? Ultra wasn't great. Ultra saying it wasn't great. Moyes had us sitting back for most of it. Yep, we're going to go through that in a minute, mate. Snazzy Azzy with Cornet. Thought we were dead. Then we go Richards in there. Thumbs up or thumbs down, mate. My thumbs are neutral, mate. Neutral. We won, but that was a pub team out there, and I reckon like Ginger ain't gonna shut up now. But Ginger, like the teams you play at the weekend, they got to be better than that, haven't they? The teams you play in your league, whatever.
Oh, mate. I was so bored. Like the atmosphere in the stadium. The tone of the commentators, the commentary was shit. I don't know whether it's because it's BT's fault 3, but it just felt boring. And then I'll just get disinterested and I'll look away for a second, and all of a sudden we scored. But there's not a massive roar, if you know what I mean. And I just thought, all right, yeah, we got the game done 2-0, but it could have been more. We were very sloppy. But I wouldn't say we were great. We just had a professional performance. And I felt that even our fringe players, on paper, should have been enough to go and win that game.
We'll go into it in a minute anyway. Let me
Yeah.
just catch up with the
But one
Richard's
thing
having a
though, Jez,
laugh. Yeah.
we've got Super David Moyes.
Got Super David Moyes. We've got
It can only win.
even a more Super Antonio. I don't know how he scored the first goal. He was marked by two players. One was holding onto his shirt.
Mate,
The other
how
one,
did he
I
score
don't know.
the second? I rewatched it and I was like, mate, I've never seen anyone hit a ball like that as good as that.
No, but you do know in training. That's what you do in training. You know, most of the best goals happen on the training. You know, because you're not
Yeah.
under pressure. You're
Yeah.
lackluster. You put your foot through it. He's certainly got the power.
He's definitely miskicked that one, isn't he? He must have a banana wang wang foot. To get that ball starting so
Yeah.
far out wide and to get it round the player who, let's be fair, he was less than 10 yards away from him. If that was a free kick, Antonio's never doing that. But he's had to set the ball so far out wide for it then to come back in. And it just looks amazing from one particular angle behind Antonio. But he'll never be able to do that again. But take nothing away from him. That was a great strike.
It was good. I mean, if we go back to the again, you just missed me saying, mate, some of the journeys, some of the people we know have had. I wouldn't do it if you gave me a free ticket. I would not watch this team. You must be joking, mate.
No.
People have been catching two coaches, delayed planes, delayed trains, delayed connections, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same coming back. Yeah, it's going to be the same coming back, mate.
It's not so much because I've travelled like within the country, as well as had my problems in Lanzarote coming home, my own fault. But I've had the travel problem, so that doesn't surprise me. It's the fact of the GDPR stunt that West Ham have pulled off, sending out the wrong tickets to the wrong people and people downloading other people's passport numbers. That's the breach of the GDPR. It amazed me. How could a club like us, a Premier League, established big London club like West Ham, make so many cock-ups and a big cock-up like that?
I remember last season semi-final, I think a couple of people I know very well, ex-employee and Dave, they couldn't get into the ground because they had to meet two club people and there were rumours that they were selling some of the tickets that should have been for fans, allegedly, and then they weren't going to get in X, and they're connected, they made a couple of phone calls, and then that lady had to apologise to Dave and X, and if Dave and X didn't know those people high up, they wouldn't have got into the ground. It is a risk, mate, you know? The way West Ham are dealing with it, it's like you said, people open their email, I'm hearing, with someone else's passport photo, someone else's ticket, their date of birth, their details. It is a shit show, mate, from the club in terms of admin, mate. And some people, I don't know how the tickets were delivered, whether they were still waiting for the email or something to print off, or whether they had to go to some grotty hotel to pick up the tickets. It's weird, mate. It's just weird.
As far as West Ham have put out, they apologised for the big cock-up and they said they were looking to rectify this ASAP. And that was either last night or early this morning. But that should not be happening regardless. A big thing like that should not be happening. You should be, unless you're getting hacked, but you're not being hacked because it's the club that's actually sending those details out. So
doesn't matter. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, in terms of the West Ham team, I wanted Skamaka to start. Certainly, two people up front. It was shit Kerr at fullback, shit Cressy at the other side. Lanzini, who they're trying to move him out of the club for the past 3 windows. Benny up front, he looked like with Antonio. It's fucking shit, mate. You know. And for the first 35 minutes, mate. Wow, that was poor, wasn't it? That was poor, mate. Nothing going on.
I'm glad I was at the salon getting my hair done because I forgot all about it and I forgot to switch it on at 5:45. And as soon as I turned it on, it was it was the 38th minute and we was 1-0 up. So
it's just, what do you think about my comment saying it just tells you, is this competition just, it is that poor, mate? It's just no excitement in getting through each game, is it, mate?
No, there's not. No, until you play a big club, a big team, then you're not going to get much excitement. I mean, look at last year. There wasn't. I mean, no, actually, I'll take that back because even the group games, Genk, and and the other group games that we had, they still had atmosphere. But that one tonight, there was just no atmosphere. I don't know where the West Ham fans. I know there was a lot of them sitting behind one of the goals, but there must not have been a mic near them because I couldn't really hear them that much.
Yeah, if I go through some of the scores, everyone, before we go into the goals. So yeah, we've won. It's the last 16. It's Lazio 1, Alkmaar of Holland 2. Wow, very surprised with that. Lazio at home have lost 2-1. You've got Anderlecht 1, Villarreal, who a lot of people are saying are up there with West Ham to win it, 1. So, oh my God, this is going to be easier than I thought. How can Villarreal? Because
Please don't say that just yet, please.
Michael Carrick's coming to town. Michael Carrick's coming to town. But yeah, you got Fiorentina, who are going to play a bit later on, I think. And then you got Basel, Slovan Bratislava, Nice are playing again. And mate, it looks pretty doable, mate. Pretty doable, mate. I'll tell you. But Antonio's goal, mate. Shocking defending, Ginge, standing by himself. No one near him. Good goal, but you're not going to... the problem for me, Ginge, is that whatever happened today, you can't take that into the Villa game for me. I don't think so,
No, you can't,
mate.
because it's completely different level of opposition. And it's a different style of play. It's a different tempo. We all know that Premier League is a lot fast-paced. It's a lot more physical. And it's going to be a lot more rowdy. It's going to be a lot louder. So this is not an indication of what's going to happen or how things should happen on the weekend, because, I mean, Unai Emery, for a start, have got Villa playing decent football.
I can't see us beating Villa. Can't see it. No, not for me, mate.
I mean,
no, not for me.
We need to put a shift in, and obviously playing with a lot of fringe players has sort of helped. Whereas the other weeks where we had United in the cup, we played near enough a full strength squad, and then we went and played Brighton with near enough a full strength squad again. Whereas tonight it was a little bit foot off the gas. It was an easier sort of team on paper, if you like. With Kera coming back, he got played. Creswell didn't play on the weekend. He got played tonight. I don't think these players will start on the weekend.
But who's going to play? Who's going to play up front? You reckon at Villa then?
Danny Ings. If he's not, if Villa haven't put in his contract that he's not allowed to play against Villa, then Danny Ings will
No. You only do that when you're on loan. I think that's fine. Should be fine.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought I'd cover myself saying that just in case someone jumps in the chat. But
No.
I think it'll be
they should be fine.
You never know. With Antonio's performance tonight, if he hasn't, if that little calf strain that he felt earlier isn't affecting him, I could see Moyes Gamori score 2 goals in Europe. Let's play him.
I think Villa played 2 up front. I think we've got to match him, but listen, he ain't going to do that. Timothy Thomas, I hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, everyone was all right, mate. I can't say more than that, mate. Yeah, everyone was all right. Yeah, Cornet's coming back. It's just, not much of a test, which I think sometimes you want as a professional. And, they did get themselves into 1 or 2 interesting areas when it was 0-0, but you could tell they were never going to score even. I mean, I got tickets for the home leg. I'm probably going to fall asleep, mate. We're 2-0 up. It's time to just have a laugh and put your feet up, innit, mate, and go home at half time, I think, next week.
You know what to do, Jazz? Sneak in a little bottle of rum in your sleeve.
That's it. That's it, mate, Tim.
Or you can get a straw, couldn't you? Get a straw, feed it to your mouth.
That's it, mate. That's it. Bees knees. Listen, this show, mate, I think Frankie's going to come on. We'll probably go on for... I'm only going to go on for half an hour. We've got another 15 minutes. I'm not going to waffle anymore, mate. And for me, in summary, it's a piss poor competition. And I just want to ask your opinion, Ginge, because some fans are asking this very common question that... Would you take relegation, win this, or would you not win it and stay up? So which way? Where do you sit?
It's a tricky one, right? Because I want to see us win a cup. I want to see us win a trophy. And a European trophy, regardless if it's the Mickey Mouse European trophy, it's still a European trophy. But I don't want to get relegated because the Premier League is your bread and butter. And if we get relegated, regardless if we win a trophy, we're not coming back up for a long time. As I've previously said on other streams, we don't own our stadium. We haven't got parachute payments. We can't even use equity from the stadium if we owned it to sort of keep us afloat and support us financially. And I think it'll be a disaster if we go down. So just for that fact alone, I would. It's a tough one because, like I say, I want to win a cup, but I don't want to get relegated. So I think relegation, staying in the Premier League, is more important. But like I say, it is a tough one because I want to win a cup. So
I'm got. Oh mate,
do you know what?
I wouldn't.
I'm gonna rephrase that. I'm gonna reoppose something to you. I would take a nervy battle to the end of the season to stay up, come down to the last game of the season to stay up and win this trophy. If it meant that we end up staying up, but obviously that's the ideal.
I know what you mean. I'm going to change my mind on this now because I'm so sick of the board, the owners, the team underachieving. And I've seen us get relegated in the past, mate. And I tell you one thing, Ginge, when we've come back up, we've come back as a better team, fresh, new set of fresh players, fresh manager, totally clean. And I remember even Alan Pardew, mate. Oh my God, that man. This was a team, obviously, that rode all the superstars, right? I don't know how Alan Pardew did it in a year and a half and a year and a bit. That guy bought, like, my God, Zamora, Gabiadon, Rio Coca as captain, Ginger Collins.
Rio Coca.
So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind going down. I wouldn't mind. Because I want to get rid of David Moyes. I want the board to wake up and some of the underachieving players. And I think, having thought about it, I reckon we should have sold Rice in the summer, mate.
But do you not think that regardless, like if we go on like a little nervy run, but we still stay up, the board have got to get rid of Moyes anyway, and then we can reset in the summer. So I don't think that the only way to get rid of Moyes is if we get relegated, because I think they'll probably keep Moyes. If we get relegated.
No.
They probably will. Jazz, they probably will. Because when's his contract up?
He's got back. He's got a year and a half left, mate.
I think they won't pay him off because we get relegated. They'll probably keep him to get.
It's 5 million to pay him off. 5 million.
In the bank. We've done well in Europe the last couple of years. It'll get us back up.
Oh mate, I think the way I am, I'd go both ways. I'm fine either way, mate. The way I'm feeling at the moment, I just want us to play really good football, mate. I'm sick of this, and mate, I'm missing Pellegrini. I'm that bad. I'm missing Pellegrini's football.
I'm missing
Bilic. When we beat Man United 2-0, I'm chatting to Nicky and West Ham TV, and I'm like, Nicky, this is John Lyle's come back. He's come back out the grave. We're playing Lyle-style sexy football, mate. This is what it was like in that first season with Bilic, Pellegrini. I was flying, mate. I was flying in the air. Oh, mate, good times. And Bilic had that knack of beating everyone, even away, mate. Liverpool 3-0. Yeah. I was there. 1962 first win. Whipped City, whipped everyone. Arsenal on the opening day. Oh, funny enough, I was in Cyprus, I think, when we won at Arsenal away, and I put my phone down the pool. When I lifted up my phone, I nearly fainted. I thought, what's happened here? We've beaten Arsenal away 2-0 on the opening. First game, yeah. and all the papers were raving about that young youth player, centre-back, that Bilic had used him as a sweeper, master tactician Bilic. You know, the boy who went on loan to Germany, the centre-back, they thought it was the next Rio Ferdinand, didn't they? And then
Reece Oxford.
Yeah. He was like the next best thing since sliced bread, wasn't it? And then it all went a bit funny, mate.
Yeah, we're a bit peaked up.
What's your feelings on Carrick, mate? Because I can't talk about the game anymore, can't everyone? We're going to go off tangent because 2 goals. Carroll Ginge rightly said, super strike. He actually swerved it like a banana Brazilian free kick around the player. Fair enough. I don't know where he got that out of, and a really crisp header finish. Before we move away from tangent,
Antonio been though, Jazz? That's the Antonio that we needed to get himself keep him in, like, especially for the header. Stay in the box. We've got enough players that will deliver the ball, but fair play, they don't deliver the ball. But we need to start delivering the ball. If Antonio's going to stay there, he can battle two defenders. I know the Premier League's a lot different. It's a different pedigree, different type of physicality. But Antonio can put himself about. We know he can. So we know there's a player in him. And if he carries on doing that, you will see him.
No, Ginger, I'm not going to agree with that. I'm not going to fall for today's performance, Antonio. No way.
I'm not
going to fall for it.
But that's the Antonio that we know he can be. But he can be all right. Like I said,
no. But look at the opposition. They were non-league, mate. I reckon non-league.
This is less opposition, but he's also done it in the Premier League before, so we know it's there. So where has this Antonio been? Where has this hunger from Antonio been? I get it. It's a low pedigree opposition compared to the Premier League. I get that, but he's also done it in the Premier League against some of the better teams. And where has his hunger been? Like I say, like he could try that shot tonight, that second goal he scored. He could try that 10 times and not get it on target 10 times. He won't get it on target again. That will go in Rose Edge. That will end up at Pudding Mill Lane, DLR station.
I think what it is, he obviously didn't play in the last game, I don't think. Last game was Man United, I think.
Yeah.
And with him, he's useful as a substitute and on the wing, but you can't play him up front in a Premier League game. He's, for a year and a half, 2 years, he's just not been at it, mate. He doesn't press, he's not a striker full stop, and I do feel bad knocking out own players. I never used to do that. I'm just sick of it at the moment. And another thing came to my mind, mate. I used to have a go at Issa Diop so much, and now he's doing all right at Fulham. He's doing all right. You know, he's doing all right.
It seems like every time you have a go at someone, have a pop at someone, they go and do something.
Well, I can only, like I said to people on the channel, is I can only comment on what I see with my eyes. Yeah. I don't know what that player's feeling inside, what his relationship with the manager is, what they're being taught in the training. I can't tell you that. All I can, and same with Haller. I used to rip Haller apart, saying he's 6'5". He walks around like a you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the wrong word, but yeah, he should give it a bit more, and he isn't, and he looks like not physical enough for me, and obviously a lot of that to do with tactics and things like that, mate. So Antonio, not going to be fooled by that, mate. And I think we've got the best out of him, and we should learn. You know, when you've used someone all their best time they've peaked, you need to sell them. That's what Alex Ferguson used to do. So like giving huge contracts to Antonio, Lanzini, even Masuaku, it's wrong, mate. You know when they've peaked, just get rid of them, mate, and that's it. And for me, you're not going to get Antonio 3 years ago and stuff like that, and just time to go, mate, really.
He's already like, what, 32, 33 now? So
33 in 2 weeks' time.
As it is. I mean, a little bit older than me. He's a couple of months older than me.
Well, the famous saying, bees knees, is that Antonio doesn't know himself what he's doing, is it? He doesn't know himself what he's doing, mate. So we can't figure Antonio out.
I think we got very sloppy in that second half. I think we could have gone out there and we could have killed the game off. I mean, let's mention this, Jazz. At 1-on-1 with Paqueta, what the fuck was he doing? Like, he's
another player.
It's a great opportunity to put the game to bed, put the tie to bed potentially. And what was he doing? He was just like fucking poodling along. He let the fucking defender catch him up, which arguably could have put him off slightly, but he should be hitting that earlier. He's taken that extra touch that's made him go wider and made it easier for the keeper to close down the goal. You should be, before that last touch he should be burying that.
I think what I looked at Paqueta when we bought him, mate, was that at Lyon he was in a 4-3-3. That worked quite well for him. And another thing I want your kind of feelings on is I want 4-4-2 explored as one of the options. I want 4-4-2 back, mate. I think but then for that to work, we're going to have to get 30 million left back and right back for that to work.
Do you know what I want, Jazz? I want a 3-4-2.
Three
Don't
four
get
two
it.
one. 3-4-2-1.
It doesn't add up, Jeff.
I was like, no, I thought you got a one up front then at the end. 3-4-2-1. Yeah.
No. You'd have a 3-4-1-2.
Oh,
I was watching my face thinking, when's it going to click into his mind?
that's the one. I did that one on the show. Yeah. Yep. I get that. A lot of pressure on the back three, but then I want, well, Rice or similar player just to be a CDM, sit in front of
You
him.
could basically say a 3-5-2, basically, and defensively it becomes a 5-3-2.
That's what Brentford did last year. Brentford did that, mate. And
I don't know why we can't play that. We could defensively, it could be at worst a 5-4-1, and going attacking, it'll be a 3-5-2.
And what happens, Ginger? Like I said, even when I watch our games, sometimes that system changes 2-3 times during the game depending on what's going on. Like that, those five in the midfield, they can go back. You got five at the back quickly, then you've got five in midfield, and it's clever. But you've got to spend money on your left back or right back. We've got to do it now.
100%.
We got to do it now.
30 plus. Kufau's 30 plus. Ben Johnson just isn't good enough. So
there were rumours that he was going to play. There were rumours that he's going to play, but they brought our favourite Mr. Kera back, and he didn't look all that anyway. Kera, he's like he got done a couple of times. What I remember, got away with it.
I would rather play Kera tonight than play him on
Saturday. I think Villa, yeah.
Against Villa, because I'd rather Kufau play on Sunday.
Liam's on it. Can Moyes leave now? He's on the high now. I'll tell you what, Liam. I saw his press conference, and I'm going to review the press conferences from now on for the channel. And I saw it yesterday, and I should have put a pro. It was cringeworthy again. You know when a guy is cornered, he's lost, and then obviously he's so nervous, he doesn't know what the guys in the press conference are going to ask him, and just coming out with gibberish after time, mate. Like we want to win things, and people shouldn't forget how the 2 years have been, and. Yeah, watch the press conferences, mate. It's worth looking at, and it tells you what frame of mind a manager's in, and you can tell when someone's about to, well, hopefully go. I don't know, mate, but and because we've heard he's had a big bust up after the 4-0 drubbing. Nolan, I think, even on the pitch, something happened, and then he's had a bit of an altercation with Noble and Rice after the game. So it's all kicking off, mate. It's all kicking off, which is kind of. What's the last game you went to, Ginge?
Fucking 18-5. That's how it feels anyway. I think it was. I know it was last season. I haven't been able to get over there this year. On the island.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
was hoping to go like next week or so, but I'm so busy doing up the house. I've not done any paid work, so. Yeah, I'd love to.
No problem. Hammer time. Did we keep the receipt when we got Kera, mate?
No money back guarantee, that is.
Though what it was, Hammer time, was that PSG had to get some players out the door, and that's how we got him. Well, they reckon they wanted 15-20, mate, and we got him for 10, and I was like jumping up and down, said this guy's got pace, he's a utility player. But then again, like I said, this guy was a teenager wonder where PSG paid 20-30 million for him. There was a battle between Barcelona and PSG for this guy, and he's just lost his way, and he's gone worse under David Moyes, and I can't see any use for him going forward. Maybe at championship level, I don't know, mate, what I see in him.
Get a decent manager, a decent coach manager that knows how to get the best and coach him a bit more. The only way you're going to see an improvement out of him.
Yeah, it is. But for me, mate, it's all about what we do in the league, how long David Moyes has got. He's losing the backroom team. I don't think we're going to win a Villa, a draw possibility. I'll be surprised if we win playing one up front. I'll be very, very surprised. But we do have the number on Villa.
Villa can be a bit hit and miss this season.
So, we got a number on Villa, haven't we? We got a number on them. We've done them, haven't we? Enough times, but
yeah, we have, and I think they are there for the taking. But if we turn up and play like we haven't done the last few Premier League games, No chance.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, sometimes when we lose, then some of the other results go in our favour, but it is very tight down there, mate. And all I can say to everyone in the chat is when you look at the table, if we hadn't beaten Forest or hadn't beaten Everton, we would be bottom. We would be bottom of the table. It's that close. We're only 2 or 3 ahead from the team at the bottom, you know. So it is worrying times, but good to see Zuma back. He's coming back. Cornet's back. I mean, in some form, you know, training and things like that. But look at David Moyes already gave you the negative. Oh yeah, I look at him after the international break. So that's that. Cornet travelled just for the sake of it. Skamaka, yeah, we'll see what happens. But doesn't look too happy. Rumours he wants to go back. It's how can you get rid of a player you hardly use properly or know much about? It's just. It is who's buying these players. See, it's weird, mate. You would not treat a player like that you'd bought. It's kind of confusing me, mate. You know, Zuma, we can definitely tell is a David Moyes signing. We know that. Ben Rama isn't. Skamaka, I'm not sure, mate. Paqueta. Paqueta came into the picture when we messed up the Onana deal. Then they suddenly shifted direction to get him suddenly. So there's no plan. There's no plan, you know. I don't think Paqueta was on the horizon when the window opened. Ings, I think, is a very shrewd signing if you use him in the right way as one of 4 strikers and one of 2 up front, but we ain't going to do that. The guy's going to run his bollocks off outside the box, and then by the time the ball goes in the box, he's too knackered to get on the end of things. I don't know, mate. But listen, we could stay up by 1 or 2 points. What do we do then? We celebrate Moisey for another season? It's just a shit show, mate, isn't it? You know. But anyway, nice to see the Spuds yesterday. Nice to see the Spurs. That made my week.
Did you see my video I made, Jazz?
Yeah, it's that sad. That's when we get happy.
Well, I made that. Well, basically, I was sitting there watching it, and then I recorded that clip myself and posted it on my channel, and I got like 1.8 thousand views from it.
Listen, mate, and I know you get £1 from every view, so that's 18 grand, 1,800 in your account tonight, son. Get in there.
No, I've not monetized it.
Alex Chapman saying Sean Whetstone, who's one of them from Claret and Hugh, he's probably staying if we go down. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. I wouldn't be surprised. Because of the program, the show I've done before this, the board are very lazy. They don't pre-plan anything. They're not proactive. They just, if the manager goes, they just look at the one who's available out of a club and they pick one of them 2. There's no list like Brighton have got where they know in advance which 3 they're going to go to. Spurs, when they get rid of someone, within 48 hours is a press conference, the big manager's in. You know, we are a shit show at board level, like I mentioned, really. Yeah. Lingard, well, Lingard doesn't even get in the squad, mate. Doesn't even get in the squad. They put him in for West Ham game. That's about it, mate. Squeaky bums.
But he never.
Actually, listen, I'm not going to rule nothing out. It could be Carrick. I don't know. Rafa, don't know.
Now you've mentioned it. Honestly, the job that Mike Carrick has done at Middlesbrough, do you think he's going to want to leave them and come to us?
Oh, yeah.
This stage of the season, if anything, it'll be a summer thing that he will be thinking about. But right now, he's done wonders at Middlesbrough. And he's not going to... All right, he could walk away and think, right, I've done a great job. But then he'll get a bad reputation for, or a disliking to from the Borough fans. Sort of like Gerrard leaving Rangers for Aston Villa. Even though Gerrard left at the end of the season or whatever it was. He'd gone and done well with Rangers and then fucked off to the first Premier League club that came calling. And No. I think Carrick would go because the idea would be if we go down, he stays as manager and he can't say no to West Ham and the Borough fans. And the Borough fans will recognise that, he didn't come in for that long and he'll probably get him in the playoffs. And then it is a tricky question. Like you said, they are in a playoff position. It is very difficult. It's like you said, if Borough were mid-table, makes the decision a bit earlier,
easier. Sorry.
But
But
but do you think how the Premier League or how West Ham are at the minute in the Premier League? Would he want to come with it, regardless if he takes us if we get relegated, he will stay with us through the Championship. Regardless of that, he wouldn't want to tarnish his name with West Ham of being the manager that West Ham get relegated. Even though the real West Ham fans will be like, it was David Moyes' fault. He's the reason why we've gone down. Practically, theoretically, Michael Carrick would be the manager when West Ham are confirmed to be relegated because he is leading us last 15 games, 13 games, whatever it is. He would be our manager if we get relegated, and I don't think he would want that, and I don't think most decent West Ham fans will want to drag Michael Carrick's name through the mud.
well, what type of football does he play? Do you know? It's got to be good football. Well, guys, Man United all his life, wasn't it? Nearly, yeah.
It's another thing I was about to say. He was in the coaching role and in the coaching staff with United. So it's just like Arteta being with Guardiola, except Michael Carrick wasn't there with decent manager.
Listen, see people knock the Arsenal board. It's brilliant how they got thought of Arteta to get him out of that job. Heads up to you guys
and
for doing that.
For a while. They were just waiting for him to get a little bit of experience, and they done it at the right time.
Yep, I agree with that, mate. But like you said, we all know apparently what's happening. What I was saying in my show, what I've heard is that they can't get a manager at the board. They can't get hold of anyone who's agreeing to come in this late in the season, mate. No one's prepared to do it. They want to get hold of some people on a short-term contract till the end of the year. Bung them $2 million bonus, stay up. They don't want to do it. No one wants to come. No. And Poch, it's been linked to. Yeah.
I told you this, Jazz, mate. I told you. Did you put your bet on?
You did you?
Did you put your bet on?
No.
See, I told everyone to put their bet on. Antonio Conte, especially after the last few fixtures of Spurs, they've gone out and they lost their last Premier League game. They've gone out of Europe. Yeah, Tottenham fans last night was calling for Antonio Conte to be sacked.
And style of football, isn't it, mate? Yeah,
they can't wait to get Poch. A lot of fans say we need Poch, we want Poch, and I don't know whether they're saying that because they want him back because he gave them the best couple of years of the fans' life, or whether they actually believe that Poch is coming back.
One thing about Spurs, they got to understand, and it happened to Poch. It was pretty bad what Spurs did to him. He didn't deserve that, right? But no one can control Danny Levy. He's a Sullivan when it comes to transfer. So what he does, the managers give him their list. He will never get the top targets for you. Never. No. Never.
He'll look a little bit cheaper. Like, we can get him, who's your fifth choice, and we can get him, who's your third choice midfielder, at the same price as one of your top end players. And that's the sort of business they do because they're cheapskates.
That's why they're after they were after Ward-Prowse, you little shits. I want him for West Ham. And they've heard the channel, little fuckers. They're after Ward-Prowse, Spurs, doing the deal behind my back. That's going to hurt me a lot, mate. I like that kid. Don't like it. Even though you missed a penalty, naughty boy.
It goes Spurs, isn't you?
Come on, no. Ward-Prowse is mine. He's my boy. I put my label on him months and months ago, right? It's not on. It's not on.
Go down to the southern side. Tap him up. Bung him a couple of. I know you
get down the M3. About an hour. Nice part of the south coast. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you stay in for a month and not go out on all these meals and that you're having and all these stuff, right? You can save that couple of grand, right? And you can give it to him in his back burner as a private little backhander. Don't go Spurs. Come West Ham.
And another point on the ownership of West Ham, which is again unclear. When a new manager comes in, he doesn't know what's happening. So just for everyone's benefit again, we don't know at this stage, but we believe that Krotensky can buy Sullivan shares, but Sullivan has the option to say no, and that's what he's saying at the moment. He's saying no to Krotensky at the moment.
Have you not heard the latest? So you know, I said in the last stream that I came on, where Kretinsky wanted to buy, but he's now put it on hold due to the amid fears of being relegated. And then straight after that, it came out that this is just speculation and rumours. I don't know fully, but he was going to buy David Gold shares, which then makes him majority shareholder of the club.
No, because I heard Sullivan's got the first option on those as well. He's got the first dibs on those as well.
Fuck yeah,
And Kotensky has done 2 huge business deals today or yesterday. So he's carrying on doing different stuff. He's got a huge contract within our country, UK, to build batteries, for electric cars. I think
that's
it's
probably
going to be big. It's going to be a big plant up north, I think, somewhere up there, and all that kind of thing. And then the other thing I've heard. No. But the other thing I've heard is that
I'm telling you, you're gonna go in partnership.
No. The other thing is no. Listen, the other thing is that the girls now want to stay. That they want the legacy of David Gold. They want to stay now. So all these things are happening now. So then it gets more complicated that we're staying with this owners. Then, mate, it's just it's the same board.
What about, because obviously before obviously David Gold passed, he brought on his son-in-law, one of his daughter's husbands.
Yeah, Cunningham. He's in the board. He's on the board, mate.
Yeah. So he was going to take over doing I don't know, I suppose the business side of things in honour of the Gold family. He was going to be the representative, I suppose, if you like, until they knew what they were going to do. So now, if that's true, and the girls are going to keep it, is that Cunningham going to be the face of it?
Alex, we're both right, because what we're saying is that if they wanted to sell, then Sullivan has first option, then Kotensky if you want to. So you're right. If they don't want to sell it, they don't want to sell it, mate. So we're both right, mate. You carry on, Ginge. I'm going to go and get a rum, while Alex can get a cup of tea, mate. I'll be back in a minute. Go on, go on. You like waffling. Waffle on now. Go on.
Yeah, I've got more waffle than bird's eye. While he goes off to a rum. So yeah, as me and Jazz were saying there, obviously Gold's daughters is come out now. I don't know if it's fact. Alex, do you know if that's come out definite now, or is that still speculation? Is that still rumours? But obviously, if Gold's daughters are going to keep it on now, which is a change of the books, then is that Dan Cunningham, one of Gold's daughters' husbands, going to be the face of them? Or are they going to come into the into the boardroom themselves? Are they going to be on the board, or are they going to get a representative? If anyone knows about that, Alex, if you know about that, then put it in the chat, mate. But as me and Jazz were saying, if those shares of Golds were going to be sold on, then Jazz has said that obviously Sullivan gets first dibs. I heard that Kretinsky was looking to buy out Gold shares, but he's now going to hold off amid the relegation fear. So, what does that mean for West Ham? And what does that mean for? That just shows that he's not confident in West Ham at all. But I suppose for Kretinsky, it's going to mean for him to see what happens in the summer, obviously with relegation and whatnot. So it'd be interesting to see what develops from there.
I think the David Gold's daughter's got nothing to lose, because they can continue to run the big businesses that Mr. Gold gave each of them. I think one is Knickerbox Limited, one is Ann Summers, and they're both doing well. And then their husband is Mr. Cunningham, who's a West Ham nut, I'm told. Huge West Ham fan. So he's on the board, and he can, like you said, he can keep an eye on things while the girls are busy. And I don't think throughout the year they have that many board meetings to worry about. You've seen Karen Brady. She does F all for West Ham, gets a couple of million. She got $1 million finder's fee for finding Kotensky, gets another $1 million sometimes, and then she's busy writing columns, attending business lunches, and even the thing I'm part of, the association I'm part of, she's done dinners, and she gets 15-20 grand for that. And yeah, it is what it is, really. But
you've got now, Jazz.
No, it's like if you're an accountant or you like a corporate banker or treasury, every year you can go to dinner and then
Yeah,
people
yeah.
like her are there. The society
But
association will pay for her,
what you
and then
want
she
to do,
does these.
one of those button cameras, right, and stick it on your tyre, or just have a false button, but have a camera and just go up to him and just start waffling and see
Well,
what you can
something.
get
Well,
for
something
nonsense.
came. No, no, but listen, something came up on Twitter where what she's doing tomorrow morning, and it goes to fabulous Karen Brady on Times Radio at 9:30 p.m. Her work ethic, self belief, childcare, what's changed for women, responsibilities appear, West Ham women, and what's next. So, like I said, at that show Apprentice, I would love her to do a challenge because I don't think she's any better than any of them, mate, but she gives it a big one. She's one of those 21 years old, became a managing director. Her father was a very rich person who found her the job. So she's a lady who's always looked down at people. She's never worked her way up, which is the best way to do it. Always start. You can imagine a 21. You can see a 21 shouting at people who are a lot older than her for no reason, telling them, all that kind of thing.
She's been given it, hasn't she?
Yeah,
So
been
she's
given
had
it.
to work.
No,
She's not had to graft for a craft, if you like.
who becomes a managing director at 21, mate? No one. You got to be double that age nearly, or slightly, to go anywhere near
Got
that.
to have
And
some serious experience as well.
she's got the
Don't get me
gift of
wrong.
the gab.
She's probably that's it. Yeah, she has. Then she's probably learned a lot since she's been in that job. But you don't get that if you don't have it, and you can't just get that sort of job and then learn the craft along the way.
Well,
Wrong.
she's definitely not a West Ham fan. We need to get more West Ham fans in the club, working in the back room,
I mean, do
offices,
you
and stuff like that.
remember what I said about fucking Tottenham? Like, obviously one of our biggest rivals, and because she's sucked off Alan Sugar in the past, and he used to.
It's the West Ham Hines channel, everyone.
allegedly. And because obviously she's had her fingers in a couple of Alan Sugar's pies, and obviously he used to own Tottenham, and she turned around and said, "I really hope that Tottenham win the league." It's like, how can you be involved in the board co-ownership of a club and go and say a massive statement like that, where you wish that your club's rivals win in the league? Like, that's not going to sit well.
I tell you why, because she knows that, because she's very close to, I think, going back to, was it Birmingham or someone like that? There was a deal going to be done and she's going to become the number one there. So she's thinking, if I leave West Ham at any point, because there was a rumour, it got so bad between the West Ham fans and her, Sullivan's like, you're going to have to go. Because apparently Gold never liked her. That's the story, that Gold never liked her. But Sullivan was always the one
because
on
Gold
her side.
Noshy off of her, that's why.
Have you seen that photo? Oh my god, when he's bopping around and I'll send it to you. I think Karen Brady looks like she's about 22 and she's dancing with Sullivan. Sullivan's just got that face, and especially his past and what he used to do is just a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
John doesn't like her. Ultra 505 or SOS, how you doing, mate?
Of Sullivan bopping around, Russian hat that he wears, just bopping.
See, something's happening in the Middle East, mate. What it is, all these countries who have got human rights issues, and Saudi and Qatar, and by the way, Qatar and Saudi don't get on. They do want this to. It's a bit like Abramovich. Why did he buy Chelsea? He bought it to clean his name, get a respectable name, get a UK passport, get other business deals on the back of being known as a Chelsea guy. He writ all the debts off at the end. He put so much money in, but he was probably getting more business on the back of that elsewhere that you don't see. And then when you look at a group structure, you have a holding company at the top, you have subsidiaries beneath it, and in between them there's intercompany loans, and depending what tax advisor you, sometimes you have companies in Netherlands, in Luxembourg, in Cayman Islands, and you can ping your debt around according to where, due to tax, where it's more suitable for you. And where Chelsea stood, they could take on a lot of the dets, or vice versa, or put the debt,
Your
yeah.
Your your first example, your first comment about that was it was to clean up his money. It was to legitimise his money in and out.
Which Dodi fired, God bless him. I mean, listen, as far as I know, I think he did do a lot of charity work, and Harrods owner, Fulham Football Club owner, and
Who's
Michael Jackson's best mate, Dodi Fayed. Al Fayed, was it Al Fayed? Dodi's
Al
dad?
Fayed,
Yeah. Who's gone now? I think Qataris actually own Harrods now, as far as I know, and they own one or two hotels. Got a lot of large stake in Sainsbury's, I think, amongst other things. But yeah, going back to that question, Ultra, yeah, Qatar won a match up with Saudi. They bought PSG. I think that was a stupid decision. Paris is not a footballing capital. There's only one or two teams in Paris, as far as I know. It's a rugby city. You know, PSG is not football, and I don't know why they did it. And they've been banging their heads on the wall. All the money they've spent, the superstars, they can't win the Champions League. So, like you said, yeah. So Liverpool's not going to be sold. Their owner said, "I'm sticking by it, but it's going to be pretty normal window, nothing too extravagant." And Man United are going to be bought. And like you said, there's two rich people after Man United. The one who doesn't get them, what I'm hearing, Ultra, is there's more chance of them buying Tottenham than West Ham, mate. What I'm hearing, because Tottenham is a revenue machine, mate. Revenue, £1 billion stadium. You know, we can't fucking pour our pints, mate. We have to pour them on a tray 20 minutes before we drink them, because they're not capable. The local workers are, you know, pouring it the way it should be done. Have you seen those machines at Spurs? It comes from underneath, doesn't it? They put the empty
glass on and it fills from the bottom. Yeah.
And what they do at West Ham, they've got them already poured after 25 minutes on a tray. So when we grab them at half time, super smashing great, isn't it? Fucking hell, man. Seriously.
Proper smash and grab at half time, that is, isn't it?
And then Ultra, the other thing is, whoever hopefully sort of gets West Ham ownership, they probably want to gain ownership of it fairly quickly to get an asset on the balance sheet, and then after that it's up to them. Two options they'll have: if it's Middle Eastern money, mate, they'll knock it down and rebuild again in the same spot, right? Because in building and property, yeah, because in property, Ginge, it's always the land, isn't it? It's always that cost most money. You can build, if you've got the land, you can build a 5-bedroom detached house for 200 grand, right?
Yeah. And
that's the problem.
It's the land that costs the most. Like, we worked it out, me and my pal, we're in the building game, and you can build a standard house, a nice standard house, for about 80 grand. Yeah, well, we could anyway. We just buy the materials.
Yeah, three bedroom, nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Room in the loft, lovely, ensuite. Yeah.
So you could probably go and spend like 300 grand on the land to have a nice size house with front and rear garden, parking, garage. But then to build that, you're going to have to spend another 80 to 100 grand just to buy the materials and build it. But it's the land. So I think I see it a couple of minutes ago. It came up in the chat that someone said the Qataris already own some of the land surrounding Elizabeth.
Yeah, Frankie wasn't sure, but maybe, I haven't looked into it, but yeah, some people say, and then Frankie's like, not sure, so we'll have to look into that, but yeah, could be the case, yeah.
But that goes on, but again, you know our luck, we'll have someone like that ready to invest in us, probably on the same sort of level as Newcastle, financial-wise, and the Premier League, do you know what, no, human rights, you're not allowed to buy them. But they've already probably took backhanders from the Saudis.
That should not have gone through, and there is a person who's again shouting about that. I think it's too little too late. I'm not too sure, mate. Money always talks as far as I'm concerned, mate. The other thing with Newcastle to bear in mind, it's a fantastic deal in terms of Amanda is renowned for getting Saudi deals done in the past, so the Arabs knew her. So Amanda's got a very small percentage in Newcastle. Then you've got the Saudi government is what it is, mate, trying to clean their name now. You know, women can drive. The alcohol's being advertised. They've obviously probably want to hold a World Cup at some point, Formula One. And I don't follow golf, but I've heard that they've made the Golf Breakaway League, haven't they, the Saudis, I think, offering crazy money for some people to go there, and then they're banned from the old PFA, whatever you call it. The golf PGA, sorry, that's right. The other thing is they've got the Reuben brothers Newcastle on board, who are property magnates, so they're going to help Newcastle build a new ground and infrastructure, training facilities, and then look after the community at the same time.
away from the city centre. Well, the council want them to move it away, and obviously they were thinking about it because they'd be able to find a nice location with more land and the town won't be as congested. But the fans don't want it. They love it. They love where St James's is.
They could do that. Obviously, they're gonna. Everyone's learned from our mistake. We are the model of how not to do it, right? So we made Spurs' job easy. Daniel Levy travelled to America to look at stadiums, did their research, and obviously, to piss us off, he built the pitch as fucking close as possible. They can't even take corners now. It's that fucking close, yeah?
No, yeah.
Yes. So they deliberately did that. Then they've got a system of changing pitches. So they want concerts, they want American football. But Ginger, the other thing, they've had so many concerts, they've actually they've invoked a clause and they're in trouble now with the local council. So it's all pretty serious at the moment that they've done too many events, I think, and because their understanding was, you have a home game every couple of weeks in the area, it's all right. But if you're banging every other week, 160,000 fans or whatever, I think there's something going tits up there. I don't know what's going to happen, really. But going to your question, mate, about the Spurs, Daniel Levy is a big name, but there is obviously that guy who's the owner, and he's in his 80s, mate. So there is a time where you got to think about it. So that's why those Spurs rumours are getting a bit bigger. So Daniel Levy is not the full picture. There's a guy, obviously, Daniel Levy is like the managing director, the running face of things. But the man who mainly owns Spurs is 80, so that's the reason for that going on there, mate. And
yeah, I can't remember his name.
I'll Google it in a minute. Let me Google it for you guys.
If you like.
It's probably US, isn't he? ENIC Group, Joe Lewis, Bahamas
That's
registered subsidiary. Yeah.
That's him, yeah.
So the ENIC Group, they own 85% of the shares issued for Spurs, and there's now rumours that whoever buys Man United, they're going to take it off the stock market, and they got a way of selling the shares back to the fans. I reckon they're going to raise more money that way. They reckon because the fan base of Man United, that I don't know. Let's see what happens. But then there's a lot of that's how Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think the fans own a piece of the club, and then they obviously vote for the president, don't they? Ever so often.
Well, that's why I like German football. Every German club, other than. Now, let me get this right. Other than Leipzig, I think it's Leipzig. Every German club is 51% majority owned by fans. At minimum, 51%. So the fans get, obviously, the say. And that's why German football is so connected to the fans.
Oh, you were at the Crown, were you? Just left the ground training session. Well, there we go. Well done. I hope you had a good time, mate. But pretty comfortable. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we couldn't even vote for the badge, could we? They changed our badge behind our back and all those kind of things. So it is what happens. What happened to Alan Sugar, mate? Was he's not fond of football, mate. He got very upset with the apparently high earning footballers who wouldn't put in a shift and moody managers, moody players, and he got out there, mate, saved his fortune. Whereas Mr. Simon Jordan, is it on TalkSport? He's lost the bulk of his money in football, and I think he got to be daft.
Went bankrupt with Palace.
Yeah, you got to be daft.
Now he's on Talkshit FM, big bollocks about other people. It's like, fuck off, mate. You're a failed football owner. You little Bert.
And the other thing is, mate, you're right. I mean, yeah. It is the time and space that Antonio had for both the games is pretty poor, and you could have slipped and allowed one or two of their strikers, Aek Larnaca, through. They wouldn't have scored, mate. But we're going to call it a show. It's been an hour, so it is what it is. It looks like hopefully we're through to the last 8, mate. The last 8. It's going to get serious now, and let's see what happens on the David Moyes trail and at the weekend home to Villa. See what the plan is, mate. Is it Carrick? Is it Rafa? Is it Nolan as caretaker? I reckon that's a possibility, mate. Till the end of the season, cheap option.
I reckon Moyes gets sacked, and then a week later he gets reinstated because we've got no one else to come back in.
Or we get Nolan and Kevin King together. Never know. We'll see. We'll see, mate. We'll
I'd
see.
rather have Nolan and Noble.
Let's see what happens. I mean, Noble will be involved in the next option anyway. Either way, and then we'll see what happens, isn't it? After that.
That dressing room, like somewhat.
Yeah.
We've got to go in. It seems like since Noble, they've gone majorly downhill. I know we were slowly going downhill, but I think that was down to Moyes not getting anyone else in last January, and we had a very thin squad as it was, and he had the opportunity to add in a few more. Already.
David Moyes is problem and the main reason for where he's at. It's the transfer window management. It's piss poor. Out of the 7 or 8, he bought none in 3 and bought 1 in 2 of them only because the board had a go at him and they bought someone on the last day. So he only willingly bought players in about 3 windows out of the 7 or 8. That's not on, mate. That's not on. And it's I've never known a manager like that. Usually it's the other way around where they say, we want to buy, the board don't let us. And this time the board were like,
But then that, but as before, you could never trust what the media outlets were saying about a manager coming out saying, well, the board wouldn't let us. And then the board saying, oh, we're offered him players, but he didn't want to take it. But with Moyes, in this latter 18 months, you can sort of believe the board. Because we know what Moyes is like. He's a diverer.
But look at the clock. Yeah.
For the owners.
But look at the Klopp model. Look how slick it is. Look at that new boy they've got. 4 to 8 goals in 4 games. Slips in like a piece of puzzle.
That Cody Gakpo. That Dutch striker. Yeah. Yeah, it's mustard.
Because all the players he signs, they're the same style, then they fit in. That makes sense to me. We're buying players. I don't know what's going on. It's just weird.
Old Mane, bring in Darwin Núñez. Do you know what I mean? And then like 1 in, 1 out sort of thing.
But not only that, listen, I know Núñez has got a few issues, but the boy works hard. He sets things up. He's involved. He's apparently one of the fastest players in the Premier League, amazingly, for that height. And even though they got a couple of boys, got that Wolves ex-boy, he's injured, and they got another Brazilian boy injured, mate. Yeah, they got loads of players, mate.
He came on in a 7-0 demolition against United.
I agree with you, Chris. I think there's a good chance of Villa winning, mate, and then he's got to go, isn't he? Oh, mate,
Mate, how many times have we said that this season? He's got to go after this game. He's got to go. And this 3-game rule bollocks, it's just not good enough. If you're under pressure and you want to do like I don't know some pressurized rule where you give the manager so many games, make it 1, make it 2 games. Don't make it 3, where you could lose 2 and win the last one, and then obviously you get another 3 games to save yourself.
What I've heard is that the board hasn't got any plan, so that they are not setting any deadlines for him. Well, what they're doing is they're just watching game by game, so they don't even know what will happen. One result, they suddenly get together and say he's out. So there are no set targets because they have honestly got no one lined up. Few people they reached out to, they didn't want to come to West Ham, either because it's too late in the window now or for other reasons. So they really don't have anyone lined up. And being a lazy board who wasn't proactive with a list, they're now in a corner, mate, risking the future of the club. And after spending probably the most money they have in a window, and we're all over the place. And it's a manager who's so stuck up, so much. He's laughing at the board because they can't get rid of him. They can't get rid of him, and they're saying openly he's our best option. He's laughing, mate. He's got all the power. He's a dictator at the club. He doesn't listen to no one. He treats players with no human respect. Keeps doing the same formation. So he don't give a F about the fans. He don't give a shit, mate. But I'll tell you, Mr. Moyes, that Villa game will be the one, and the board, where something will happen with the fans. And it's going to be a mixture of people going to leave very, very early, and one or two fingers going to be pointing at the board area, and that gets Sullivan very jittery and nervous. And that Villa game, it's.
I think we stay. If it starts going sour, we stay there, but we chant and chant. Moyes out. There's no point just walking off. That's not. I think we should just chant and chant Moyes out.
Yep, I'm looking forward to the game because I think it's quite a pivotal game. But like you said, we do have the number on Villa, but I think Villa under the new manager, and they'll be good enough to probably get something from the game. Maybe probably a win, mate. I think, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks everyone in the chat. I'll give some of your evening back to you guys, and then we'll do some videos on the Villa game. And yeah, I'm not in a good place. I'm not. 1-2-0. Wow, it doesn't change my life or anything. It's a joke, but it's going to be bad, Ginge, because I think with the board, we ain't got a plan for anything, mate. We ain't got no plan. We need it. We need a takeover, mate. We need a takeover. They came in 2010. 13 years.
We need some sort of change.
I think it's a takeover. We need a new board. We need a new board. Otherwise, Sullivan's going to keep making the same, and we're going to keep blaming the managers and the players. And no, it has to change your boardroom level and bring and the sad thing, everyone, is when that board comes, it's going to take them a couple of years to build it up to Brighton, Brentford, Leicester's level. And look at training ground. Will again take some money away from the planning and or the players' purchases and things like that. You can see it from Leicester. They've closed the purse a bit, but I wouldn't mind closing the purse for a bit for a world class training ground, because we're not good at spending money anyway, Ginge. We're shit at it. We waste money, and I wouldn't mind half of it going to a really nice facility that is very important, mate. I mean, you play even to this day, medical room, sauna room, ice room, that room. You saw the Spurs Amazon documentary. You saw the pitches they got there. You saw the manager's office. I don't even want to think about what Rush Green looks like compared to that, mate. Or Chadwell Heath. Chadwell Heath, my man. Yeah.
Not appealing at all. It looks like what I turn up to a Sunday or a Saturday league game.
Actually, you're not far. You're not far from there. Was it bought from Ford or Dagenham Motors? Or who they used to belong to? That Rush Green, all that ground and all that.
What Rush Green's one? I think it was. I think it was Ford's. I think it was the old Ford's ground.
Because again,
that's not far from me at all. That's about 10-15 minutes, I suppose, if that. 10 minutes drive. I literally worked on a job on a client's house, literally just round the corner from that, and I see Mark Noble and can't think of who it was. A couple of years ago, about 18 months ago it was, as I drove past, and I see Mark Noble and someone else in the car park as I drove past.
Did you hear that?
No.
All right, let me do it again.
No, I still can't hear that.
Can you hear that? Doesn't matter. I was doing these sounds like clapping, horn sounds and all that. Doesn't matter. But anyway.
I heard it when you'd done it before, when Frankie was on.
I pressed the same buttons again. Yeah.
No, I didn't hear it this time.
Thank you, Lee. Lee, we're going to give you evening back because we're going to waffle on forever without making any sense. So, yeah, thank you for everyone in the chat. Thank you, Gingy. Get your evening, get your little lunch in, your dinner, bits of cold beer, mate, and cat cracking, mate. Take care, yeah? Take care. Thank you.
Can eat me cold Karen Brady now, can't I? My little scampy bite.
Take care, everyone. Take care.
See you later.
Come on, you Irons. Come on, Moisey. Love you. One touch football.
We wish.
That's